I appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
We were earlier today, and it is going to be a cold night for us, but we're still looking ahead to those warmer temperatures here the next couple of days. Currently, a lot of us are sitting in the teens, and we're going to be dropping into the low to mid-teens during the overnight. And we're actually down to 9 degrees already in Waukegan. So that's one of our colder spots. We have a really wide range of temperatures showing up out there this evening, from 9 in Waukegan to still 25 degrees in Gary. Here's where we're headed tonight. So a lot of us tonight are going to be dropping down to the low to mid-teens. Of course, for those of you in places like Waukegan where you have dropped into the single digits due to those clear skies, of course, your low temperatures are going to be just a hair cooler there. Normal low for this time of the year is around 19 degrees, so a lot of us are going to be below that. But here's where we're headed over the next week and a half or so. We have 30s on tap for Thursday. Same thing on Friday, although that is going to be coming along with some snow. But next week, that's when the real warming trend is going to get underway with highs in the 40s. Those details coming up. Scott?
An ambush-style shooting just outside of St. Sabina Church on the south side. It happened in broad daylight. A man and woman shot. The woman died. Video of the incident showing 3 mass shooters firing into a white vehicle before hopping into an SUV and driving off. Now, from the audio, it appears as though the assailants continued to fire as they drove away. There are reports tonight that there was a baby in the car at the time. That baby reportedly not injured. No one's in custody right now. Police are investigating. We're following up on the deadly shooting in a White Castle parking lot that claimed the lives of 2 people. Police offering a reward for any information that leads to an arrest. That reward worth $10,000. The double homicide took place yesterday afternoon just outside the White Castle on West Roosevelt. Police say 3 men were in a vehicle when 3 other men approached them and opened fire. 2 died and the other was hurt. One of the men killed identified as 48-year-old Lydell Harton. During the shooting, the car caught fire. Anyone with any information is being urged to reach out to Cook County Crime Stoppers. We're learning new information tonight in the woman killed inside a parking garage. The medical examiner reporting a gunshot to the face claimed the life of 31-year-old Shawnquanice Kimbrough. She was visiting UI Health for an appointment Tuesday afternoon. She parked inside the garage. Police tonight are searching for a suspect. A neighbor coming to the rescue in Arlington Heights. It happened around 10 this morning. This home on North Dryden caught fire. There were 2 people inside at the time. Now, one person did manage to get out on their own. Fire crews say the other person was stranded inside, rescued by a neighbor who used a sledgehammer to gain entry through the front door and then carry that person out to safety. No word on what caused the fire. A federal judge in Indiana is blocking the deportation of a man acquitted last month in the murder-for-hire plot against Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino. The jury finding Juan Espinoza Martinez not guilty for offering $10,000 bounty. The defense claimed he had about $20 in his bank account. The message sent as a joke. The Chicago Sun-Times reporting that soon after the verdict on the 22nd of January, immigration agents took him into custody. They accuse him of entering the country illegally. The judge says the 37-year-old must have a bond hearing and cannot be moved around. Federal officials have until this Friday to respond to that ruling. Tonight in Galewood, residents met to talk about the future of the former Mars Candy Factory after proposed development plans were met with opposition by many. Neighbors brainstorming their own proposal. One they hope to present to Mars, Wrigley, and the developer, McCaffrey Interests. As it stands right now, McCaffrey is looking to build nearly 500 residential units on the 20-acre site, a mix of senior living apartments and townhomes. Neighbors fear that multifamily housing could lead to overcrowding, increased traffic, and problems parking.
Well, they should, and everybody here, you got to open your mouth up to be heard. Why come to a meeting that's for community and you just sit? Open your mouth up, make a difference, and you'll see change happen.
Now, we have reached out to Mars and McCaffrey for comment. Since Monday, we have yet to hear back. Well, while the snow was falling, people were protesting outside of NIPSCO's corporate headquarters. As we've reported for more than a month now, many are unhappy about high utility bills, and they're looking for some financial relief. Several of our viewers in Northwest Indiana have sent us their NIPSCO bills, reporting they've been doubled, in some cases tripled over the past year.
What is your message to state lawmakers when they see this?
My message to state lawmakers is just like the midterms coming around, you are not safe. You are not safe. We remember what you did. We remember your name. We know if you're a Democrat or Republican. We know who you are. And you will be held accountable.
We fought back against that. We got direct elections for international officers. And now we had a stand-up strike in 2023 where we actually won back a lot of the things that were given away. We need to take that same approach to state government so that we can get rid of the corporate capture of our institution.
Earlier in the day, NIPSCO's representatives appeared in Indianapolis for an evidentiary hearing. The company under investigation from the Utility Regulatory Commission for billing discrepancies involving their automated gas meters. With 1 in 3 women globally reporting domestic violence in their lifetime, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office is honoring those leading the fight against it. The 36th annual CF Stratford Awards honors the outstanding lawyers and judges and community leaders who share the values of trailblazing civil rights attorney CF Stratford.
I am honored and humbled to receive this award. As you may know, we are in crisis mode with domestic violence cases in our community. We are taking in approximately 1,300 new petitions for orders of protection per month in domestic violence court. In fact, you mentioned the police. The police are saying violent crime is going down, but what's going up? 26% of their calls are domestic violence calls.
Last year, 63 people in the greater Chicagoland area were killed as victims of domestic violence. The mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie still missing tonight. We've got the latest on what police are doing to find her. Plus,
Fulton County, Georgia, taking the FBI to court over last week's unprecedented raid. I'm Caroline Scheidley in Washington. I'll have the details coming up.
police activity intensifying outside of the home of the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. It comes as the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie enters day 4. Police say there are signs of forced entry into the home. Today, her 3 children releasing a message via Instagram. Kaylee Schuyler joining us live in Tucson tonight with more on that message. Kaylee.
Hi, Scott. It was a tearful, nearly 4-minute-long video where Savannah talks about how her mom is funny and spunky and says she chooses joy every single day. She also talks about her mom's age, how she says she's 84. Her mind is sharp as a tack, but says she can't even walk 50 feet by herself because of physical ailments and that she needs medication every single day. And now we're on the 4th day of this search for Nancy. And in this video, you hear Savannah address a ransom note. TMZ and a couple of local outlets say they received a ransom note, an email, and then turned it over to investigators. The Pima County Sheriff's Department says they're aware of it and they're taking all tips and leads very seriously. But this note reportedly demands millions in cryptocurrency in exchange for Guthrie. And the outlets say that the note also includes details about the crime scene in Nancy that are not public knowledge. But for now, the 3 siblings just say they want their mom back home.
We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
And it was around 4 o'clock local time that investigators pulled back up to Nancy's home and put crime scene tape up. And I was watching our camera that's on the ground. I'm currently located about 35 minutes away. And on the camera, I saw officers pull an object out of the home, and it looked like a pretty big object, but it was wrapped in paper, so I couldn't tell exactly what it was. And then after they removed that item, they took the crime scene tape back down. And this is all after investigators say they had fully processed the home and returned it back over to the family. So now we just have to wait for a news conference tomorrow from the sheriff to see what all of this was about tonight, Scott.
Well, Kaylee, we are hearing that President Trump spoke with the family. Is he planning to help them?
So President Trump announced earlier today that he had talked to Savannah on the phone, and this just about an hour ago, he posted on Truth Social that he had talked to her again, and he says he's making federal agents readily available to the family and local law enforcement to help bring Nancy back home.
Kaylee Schuyler reporting for us in Tucson. Thank you, Kaylee. All right, let's focus on the weather because we were so long in the deep freeze that Emily's forecast tonight is such welcome news. How soon before we climb out from freezing?
Well, freezing, I don't think we're going to climb above that until Friday, but tomorrow we're going to be very, very close. Here in the city, I'm forecasting a high temperature of 31 degrees tomorrow. And the last date that we were actually at or above the freezing mark in the city of Chicago was January 16th. So it has been weeks that we've been dealing with below freezing temperatures. Here's how things stacked up today. We ended up topping out at 27 degrees. Average high for this time of the year is 33, so we came in about 5 degrees below that. Even our low temperatures were slightly cooler than average. Average is 19. We woke up this morning at 15 degrees. But notice the records for this date, pretty extreme. Back in, it looks like 1890, we were actually in the upper 50s, close to 60 degrees. But in 1996, it was minus 14 degrees. So this time of the year, you really can see it all. It looks like over the next couple of days, though, we will start to see those temperatures moderating a little bit. Right now, many of us are sitting in the teens, couple spots still holding out of the 20s, but take a look at Waukegan. It's cold, 9 degrees right now. It's 20 at O'Hare, 25 in Gary, 18 in Merrillville. So it really depends on where that cloud cover is. It's pretty easy to tell that across portions of northwest Indiana, closer to the lakefront, that's where we have at least a little bit of cloud cover still holding in what heat we do have. That's why we're seeing those larger temperature spreads out there this evening. Your 5-day forecast tomorrow, 31. We're up to 38 degrees on Friday. Saturday, a little bit of a setback with our temps. We're going back down into the 20s, but only for a day, because then after that, we're warming things back up. On Sunday, we're going to be in the low 30s, but 40s expected on Monday. And this is your temperature outlook looking beyond Monday. So this is from February 10th through the 14th, which is Tuesday through Saturday of next week, of course, including Valentine's Day as well. And we are strongly favored to see above average conditions. But we have to think about what is average for this time of the year. And it's sitting in the low to mid 30s. Same thing next week. So anything warmer than the low to mid 30s is going to be considered above average. Although I will say a couple of those days next week are expected to be in the 40s, if not in the 50s for a couple locations. There's a couple models that are trying to push temps into the 50s across the southwestern portion of the Chicago area. Satellite and radar, things are quiet for now. Previously today, we did have some of those lake effect snow showers that were coming in across portions of northwest Indiana. That's no longer the case. We saw that winding down here in the last few hours. Now, tomorrow morning, we're waking up to mainly dry skies through about 7 a.m. After that, we're going to start to see snow showers diving to the south and the east. This is going to be a very fast mover, though. So this is another one of those clipper systems coming through, a ½ inch or less expected. Same exact thing going into your Friday morning. But on Friday, we're going to have those temperatures that are a little bit warmer. So a little bit of sleet, maybe even a little bit of rain could be mixing in at times on Friday before we clear things out going into Friday night. For tonight, 14 degrees. We will have westerly winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your 7-day forecast, we're in the low 30s tomorrow, upper 30s expected on Friday. And then going into your weekend, of course, we are cooling things down on Saturday, 24 degrees, 31 on Sunday, but 40s expected next week. Let's get a check of your weather pick of the day. Isn't that nice?
Very nice.
That's coming from Jackie Kloss and a beautiful winter sunset here. Thanks, Jackie.
Looks kind of chilly, though. Let's
It does
warm that
look
up.
cold, right?
All right, thanks. Well, election officials in Georgia's biggest county are pushing back against the FBI seizure of ballots from the 2020 election. This is a highly unusual raid. It comes as the president hangs on to unsubstantiated claims of fraud and floats another even bolder suggestion for elections yet to come. Caroline Shively has more.
Despite being almost 6 years in the rearview mirror, the 2020 presidential election lives on in Georgia. Wednesday, Fulton County filed a motion in federal court demanding the FBI return election materials seized in last week's unprecedented raid of its offices.
We were given no notice whatsoever. They showed up and took the 700 boxes that they wanted. So what they're doing with them now, we don't know.
The county, which covers parts of Atlanta, typically goes blue in elections and has long drawn the ire of President Trump, who narrowly lost this state in 2020 to Joe Biden.
They've been audited, hand recounted, and everything else you can imagine. The results are always the same.
Democrats also have concerns over why Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard was involved with the FBI's raid.
Showing up, skulking around that search warrant. The FBI didn't have the foggiest idea why she was there.
The legal battle comes as the president has doubled down on a call for the federal government to nationalize elections.
If they can't count the votes legally and honestly, then somebody else should take over.
So far, Republicans are not jumping on board with the idea.
I'm as against nationalizing election now as I was back in 2022 when the Democrats tried to do it.
The GOP is instead pushing the SAVE Act, which would require proof of citizenship to register to vote and photo ID to cast a ballot.
This is common sense stuff that huge majorities of the American people favor.
But with the legislation needing 60 votes to pass the Senate, it's unlikely to become a reality. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox Chicago. Scott, back to you.
Caroline, thank you. Massive layoffs at one of the nation's most prestigious newspapers, the Washington Post, slashing a third of its staff across all departments. The newspaper eliminating its sports and book departments, and most of the reporters overseas are being laid off. These layoffs come as the paper struggles with declining subscriptions. Owner Jeffrey Bezos has been cutting costs at the paper for more than a year now. No word on the exact number of layoffs. Well, if you didn't know, today is National Girls and Women in Sports Day. The nation recognizing this day since 1987. So if you're doing the math, that's 40 years. The day observed the first Wednesday in February and recognizes the impact of Title IX and the achievements of female athletes around the world. Aurora is getting ready to host a major junior golf event this summer, Phillips Park Golf Course, welcoming the inaugural Chicago Junior All-Star Championship. There will be nearly 100 elite young golfers from across the area.
This is a wonderful opportunity for the city of Aurora and Phillips Park Golf Course to host a caliber tournament with the AJGA. The golf course is an ideal setting for young players, which is going to be competing in this event at ages 12 to 15, boys and girls. It's going to challenge them. We're just really looking forward to showcasing the golf course and what we have to offer and create a wonderful experience for the players and the families.
The tourney will be held from June 15th through the 18th. Guard Kobe White is the latest Bull to get shipped off ahead of tomorrow's NBA trade deadline. ESPN reporting White is heading to the Charlotte Hornets. It's all part of a 4-player deal. White, who hails from North Carolina, is set to become a free agent this summer. Mike Conley Jr. is also going to Charlotte a day after the Bulls picked him up from Minnesota in a 3-team trade. The Bulls getting Colin Sexton and Ousmane Dieng and 3 second-round draft picks. This is an exciting day for the folks over at Chicago State football. It's the first ever signing day in their program's history. More than 24 players signing on the dotted line to play football. The head coach says this moment is a dream come true for he and his program.
Why is a dream come true for me is because I get to do this thing with some unbelievable men. I didn't build this program by myself. When I came up with the ideas of, putting this program together, it started with just a conversation back and forth between me and a few of our coaches on the staff.
And the players, by the way, are coming from places like Indiana, Arizona, Virginia, even Georgia. Tonight on Chicago Sports Tonight, we are speaking with Peggy Kaczynski about the impact of National Girls and Women Day in sports. Plus, a former Northwestern women's basketball player is creating a space that's dedicated to growing women's sports. We're going to head to Wrigleyville to check it out. That's right after the break. We'll be right back. Well, on Monday, we told you about a new survey that suggests maybe opt out of spending a lot of dough on Valentine's Day and perhaps write your partner a heartfelt letter. Today, we have yet another option where you can get a bit dirty, earn a prize, and even break a sweat. Wild Blossom Meadery that's with a D, is offering the ultimate wine experience. Our Jake Hamilton got the details on the search for Chicago's juiciest couple.
Listen, anybody can order a bottle of wine at a restaurant. It takes a special someone to make that bottle of wine, and that's what their Valentine's Day winemaking experience is all about. You get dinner for two, but more importantly, you get the entire winemaking, wine blending experience. And let's be honest, guys, a huge part of that experience is the mashing of the grapes. Now, I feel like people have seen this a lot in pop culture, whether it be viral videos or I Love Lucy. Yeah. But for someone who's never done it before, can you walk me through the process of what happens?
First, we have to have our stopping gear. So everybody gets a little stopping gear, so a little there. So you want to
pop your stopping.
I'm sorry, are those fairly standard when it comes to grape stopping?
Yes, everybody gets some stopping gear here.
Several pairs of those. I think well done. Well done.
Now, the thing is to stop every grape. So we're looking for the juiciest couple for
So it ends up being a competition with all the couples that are going to be out here for
so the
Valentine's
couples will be mounting a stopping bucket together.
Okay.
And which other couple?
If that's not love on Valentine's Day, Greg Fisher, I don't know what it is. All right, show me the process.
So basically, you need to stomp on the grapes and kind of break
I urge you to not create a new viral video, Greg Fisher.
Yeah, don't fall. Actually, we usually hold on each one. And
wow, it is a whole process.
And you got to stomp every grape because if you leave a grape behind, you're leaving juice behind.
The end of the experience whenever people are coming out here, usually right before dinner, right?
And then the winners will go home with a fabulous prize.
Trending right now, the chance to get hitched at Disneyland. But this ceremony is not for the faint of heart. In Anaheim, California, the iconic Haunted Mansion is now open for reservations. The courtyard can accommodate up to 25 guests for ceremonies. Wedding packages include the officiant, of course, special decor, photography, transportation. No word on the cost. True story, I went on the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland with my mom, and I thought we got separated, and there used to be those bucket seats, and so I didn't know who the person was sitting next to me. I was terrified. I was terrified on the ride, and then, of course, it was my mom's. At the end, I was okay.
Well, that's good. You turned out all right.
A little fun fact for you.
I've never been to Disney.
Really? Not even Disney World?
No,
in Florida?
none of them. None of them.
All you Chicago people went to Disney World. Those of us who grew up in LA always went to
Yeah,
Disneyland.
I haven't been to either.
Okay.
I have
We'll
life
forgive
experiences.
you. You have
that I
kids. You have time.
I know, and believe me, she's already been asking, begging, watching all the
Come
YouTube
on,
videos
make it
saying,
happen.
Mom, make it happen.
Make it happen, Mom.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. 7-day forecast for you. Let's get a check. We have warmer temperatures that we get to tell you about finally, because again, the last date that Chicago was actually above the freezing mark was back on January 16th. So
Yikes.
it has been a
That's
while.
a long time.
That's a long time. Yes. So we're going to kind of dig out of this deep freeze here in the next couple of days. Of course, tomorrow just shy of the freezing mark. But then on Friday, we're expected to see temperatures right around 38 degrees. That is unfortunately coming along with the catch. We're going to have some snow, possibly mixing in with a little bit of sleet. 38 degrees for your high on Friday. Then over the weekend, dry skies expected during the day. There is a small chance that we could be seeing another quick hitter coming through Saturday night with a little bit of snow, but just a dusting again. And then we'll start this really nice warming trend that we've been talking about. So Scott, it looks like that we're going to see kind of a flip-flop here with the weather pattern. We've been stuck with the colder than average temperatures really since the middle of January. But after this weekend, the Climate Prediction Center, all the way through about the 20th of February, that's how far this is going out now, is showing above average conditions.
So you mean to tell me you've never been on Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, but I know almost
Did you see the
every
movie with
line.
Johnny Depp?
Yes.
Do you remember in the scene where he's in jail and there's a dog that's holding the keys, but he's out of reach? Did you know that's directly from the ride?
No.
Yes, when you're on the boat and you're going through the jails, there's a mechanical dog that's holding, and there's all of these pirates, and they're in jail, and the dog is just out of their reach. That's where they got that scene from.
You know, if we're talking about good TV, I think work should send me on a field trip and document my time.
I think this is, so you've never been on Space Mountain, and now they have all the Star Wars stuff.